That's gonna be a beast. But hey, you gotta, you gotta adjust some kind of way.
Mm-hmm. But again, for real. I know, what was that? The SWAC, Alabama State, they just updated their schedule, so I saw that.
Yeah, a lot of the NCAA schools are starting to get their schedule kind of ironed out. I saw Prairie View and Grambling playing in February, so they try to get it all together, man. It's just who's gonna play first and win.
Straight up. Straight up. I saw y'all had IMG Academy on the schedule. I was like, man, that's huge.
Yeah, man. That's all relationships, man. That's relationships.
Man,
But
that's crazy. And then it's funny, man. You know, I'm just a fan of people doing great things. As we were watching uh, the bubble games, you know, the NBA. I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
I was like, that's the logo right there, you know, on the floor. Like, that's different, man.
yeah, yeah.
I see RPA being there soon, though. Y'all ain't nothing but a couple, right? You know?
Couple phone calls,
Yeah.
try to try to slide our way in that thing, man.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. Well, let me see. It's right at 7. I'm gonna have Facebook pulled up as well, and I'll dabble back and forth just to catch any questions on there.
Okay.
This is man, I don't even know what episode this is. I want to say it's like episode 7, episode 8. But Sean Freeman tuning in. This is the Free Hype Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in, for viewing. If you have thus far, if you have any questions, make sure to feel free to ask them throughout the duration of this conversation. They will be answered most likely at the end. Definitely take your notes today. Be sure to take your notes, bring out your notepad, break out the notepad. Subscribe to us on YouTube, like and connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, any of those platforms. Tonight, we have a very, very special guest. Actually, was connected to this brother through the gathering spot down in Atlanta. Met with a mutual friend and literally just kind of told her about some things that I had going with Camp Central and the app and trying to connect high school athletes to college football camps. And she said, well, you know what? My buddy Reggie, he actually has his own college. And I'm like, get out of here. You know, like, no way, you know, and then to come to find out that, you know, he's a man of color. August is Black Business Month. Just you know, it was phenomenal. So called Reggie, was able to talk to him and you know get connected, and been watching this journey, you know, from that point on. So Reggie, man, thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, no problem, man. Thanks for having me on.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. So you know, we talked a little bit earlier, maybe about just some different topics, different points. Um, Maybe to start in the present, what do things look like for you guys right now? You know, with everything going on, how's it look?
We have a limited enrollment. We have like some of the student athletes here, um, kind of trying to minimize a lot of the unnecessary interactions, like the unnecessary meetings, unnecessary outing, and things like that. So we kind of just here working, whether they come train and go home. They're in class, so they're going to school. School stuff started last week. We have some that are opting to do online and work. So it's a little free flowing right now with a set 2 hours throughout the day where we're doing actual organized mandatory events.
Gotcha. Okay. And to for those who don't know, where's RPA located, and what does RPA stand for?
So we're in Arlington, Texas, right? RPA it stood for a Resolution Prep Academy,
Hmm.
um, and then as we grew, we shortened it to just RPA College because of the things that we added and did, and now that we operate in a different space than we once did. Now it's a big full flow of things now.
Man, so can any student, any high school student, can they attend, or is it more so geared towards football athletes?
So here's what's cool, right? So if you'd have asked me this on Monday, I would have said we are 100% only athletes. Uh, as of yesterday, we're now able to bring in general education, things like that. So 2 days ago, my answer would have been yes,
Man,
athletes only, but now we're open to the general public too.
wow, man, wow, that's huge. I don't even know if I want to ask, like, how did that happen, or what does that look like? I really want to know, like,
Right.
yeah,
Well, so 3 years ago, I said that online school will be the way of the future, right? Especially talking about for athletes. So by us having an online platform and the relationships that we have, we were focusing on athletes. But now everybody's getting the online bug. So we struck a deal um, with another institution where now we're offering classes to general population, offering the associate's degrees within 18 months.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah, that's game. That's game. So that kind of speaks to a little bit of what we were talking about as far as like if you want to scale, you acquire a business.
Right.
That partnership, I'm sure, is a big piece of it. Would you like to share right now, maybe for a potential student, maybe like what are some of the courses or associate degrees that you guys do offer?
Right. So basically, so whenever you're partnering with somebody, it has to make sense, right? So we're now able to offer an associate's degree in liberal arts because our model was already come here and get your general education courses, transition on to a 4 year. So now we have it where now we can fast track you through with getting associates and all those things too. We have some specialties like in like sports management, business management, things like that. But our focus really is about getting them just getting them their associates in a basic liberal arts degree where they can use that to transfer to your next school. Because which you don't know, like our model is similar to junior college.
Mm,
So they'll come here for 6 months to year and a half, 2 years now, and then transition on to a 4 year school.
wow, wow, okay. So that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. How when starting this school, I'm just kind of working my way back in this process. What does it look like when you starting there? How did you build out that curriculum?
Man, so acquisitions, right? So truthfully, what we do well is sports, right? So what we do really well is sports. What we also do well is relationships.
Mm,
So our curriculums, instead of trying to go through the red tape of getting accredited and all these crazy things that I don't really like red tape, we acquired schools. So we
mm,
started working with other schools that are already acquired, but that are already accredited.
straight up, straight up. And with that, do you just partner with them, say like, hey, I have the population essentially. I have the student base. I just need to serve them with, or I need an accredited curriculum to provide to them. Is that kind of that conversation?
Uh, Yes and no. So a lot of it is a lot of different deals. Like our partnerships are always unique because we're bringing in things that we feel the program needs, right? So, whenever we sit down, it's always finding out, how this relationship is going to work and what they need and what we need, and then can we really make this make sense and scale as fast as I want to? I always have control. Um, nobody ever, no partner, especially our institutions, nobody ever has control over RPA. So we're our own within their space, and then they're their own within our space, but we get access to 100% of everything.
Yeah, yeah. That's it. That's it. Um, okay. So starting from the very, very beginning, you played ball at Louisiana State,
Nah, Louisiana College.
Louisiana College. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Safety.
So safety corner. Yep.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Secondary.
Yeah, I got busy.
Yeah, yeah. And while in school, like, did you ever envision this? How'd this process come about? Like, was it upon graduating? Yeah, you know?
It's funny, right? Because anybody can say this on their job, right? If you have a job, you're gonna say, "Man, if I own this place, man, I'll be doing this. I'll be doing it like this. But nobody ever thinks about going to actually create that company. That because I liked my school. It was small. It was it was controlled, and you knew that sports ran the school. Granted, it's the same way at every college in America. Sports runs the school, but when the population is as big or bigger than the sports, you really can't see it. But at my school, the athletes made up about 80% of the school.
Mm,
So I'm like, without us, this school is lame. So we should be doing this. We should be doing this, having this, and having this. So I'm like, man, I'll have my own school, you know. And then it's just kind of like, nah, I want to have my own team because I like went through like the whole NFL process and whatnot. And I was like, hey, you know what? I want to own my own team, but I don't want to own the NFL team. I want to own a college team. And
mm.
it just kind of just started like just growing from a team to a team plus tutoring, a team plus offer some classes. Then it was like, man, we can make this thing a whole college. And it went like far and fast. You talk about our inception year was 2017. The idea was like 2015, but we actually did it. And I'm saying it was me.
Yeah.
But 2017, I was just recruiting as the only coach, only staff member, the president, owner, founder, everything. I was on the road just recruiting kids to come to my school, first year, and it just grew. And then you get you get partnerships like Under Armour and things like that, due to how fast everything grew. And most people are afraid of growing fast because they're usually like out of control. But the way how we talked earlier, you grow fast by doing things that make sense with the business. And eventually you'll wake up and you have a national brand, international brand now. We've been signing nationally since first year. We signed a kid from Africa last year. This year we signed two from the UK. So we're bringing them in from out the country, and and we're only technically in year three.
Mm, mm. All right, so I definitely had a question about like how, like, man, because I played a little ball at Tiffin University for a couple of years, a D2 school,
Yeah,
and we recruited mainly the soccer team recruited heavy just overseas. Our soccer team was definitely heavily based overseas, but what does that look like recruiting wise? Like, are you taking trips to France or like these other places, or is it more so just kind of like reaching out to them? They find out about the opportunity. What's that conversation like?
So what's funny is, first year I was recruiting, I built everything from Twitter,
Mm.
right? So when we talk about on recruiting now, we recruit from social media. It's our heavy recruiting based social media, right? So the way that we recruit, there's a lot of kids overseas who want to come play American football,
Mm-hmm.
but everybody goes overseas and get the basketball players, soccer players, like those like club sport teams where it's like prominent over there, baseball, Caribbeans, right? Nobody thinks I'm gonna go get a kid from Africa to come over here to play football,
Right.
right? But there's a lot that want to play football, a lot, like a ton, right? So, whenever we recruit the same way you hit me up on Instagram. Hey
Yeah.
man, what's up? Right? This is what we have, and let's do a video uh presentation, which is, I never planned for a pandemic, but COVID, we haven't changed operations at all. This is what we've been doing, like working from home, working from my cell phone, working from the iPad, working from the laptop. So I'm running like normal dead on dead day marketing from the phone, and everybody else is trying to catch up, right?
Mm.
Because I saw where the industry was going, or where it should have been at, based on what everybody else was doing. Like, if every industry has went digital, why isn't the sports and the college world going digital too? Now we're in COVID, everybody's forced to go digital and do recruiting and do, meetings and, workouts via webcam, interviews, webcam, media training, webcam. That's where it should have been a long time ago. All right. So here we are now. And the way that we get these kids from Africa and the UK and Japan and Spain and stuff like that, we talk to them just like I'm talking to you.
Man, social media,
Technology, man.
it's a powerful thing. It's
Yes,
a
it is.
powerful
If you know how to use it. Most people run away from it because they don't know how to use it.
Yeah, and can get overwhelmed by it.
When in actuality, it's the simplest, most powerful tool that you have at your disposal.
True. True. Because it's a communication platform, at the end of the day, you're just communicating with people.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question, of course, that was big on my mind. Starting a college with $0. What like
Man, look, okay. So
that blows a lot of people's mind.
yeah, so I have a course launching in next month, but talking about how to start a college with $0, right? You see it all the time. Buy a house with $0, get a car with $0. How do you buy real estate with $0? Well, how do you start a college with $0? And one thing that people got to understand is that it takes money to make money. It takes money to start a college and all those things too. But you got to know what kind of college you're trying to build, right? And I'm gonna give you a free one. Are you trying to do a traditional brick and mortar? Are you trying to do an online school? Are you trying to do a hair school? Are you trying to do a nail school? Like, what kind of school you're trying to do? Then, how do I get this school funded? It ain't a GoFundMe, that's for sure. Like, imagine your friend say, "Hey man, I'm trying to start me at college. Here's my GoFundMe."
Not
You're
happening.
not going because you can't grasp the concept that somebody trying to start at college, especially if you know them. Everybody who knows me when I was in school, I'm like, bro, I hate school, right?
Mm.
But they don't know why I wanted to create my own school. So the reason why I want to create my own school is because athletes without the sports, most time don't want to go to school or they want to learn something. So I bridge the two where sports and school or sports and education or sports and experiences and sports are whatever. We're using sports as the platform and everything else is built off of sports. So I created a sports college, right? Which if you take the levels back from D2s and all those stuff like that, every school is a sports school that offers classes.
Right.
So if you know that, then that's what I built. So starting it with $0, man, it was definitely just one of them things. You have to have some sort of a hustle about yourself, and you gotta know numbers, right? How much do things cost? How much does your LLC cost? How much do marketing cost? How much are you spending on, apparel? How much are you spending on all these things? I'm a performance-based type person, so I believe you only get paid if you put work in. So I started with $0 because I put the work in, made the money, used the money. So you can't make money unless you do some work, right? So I don't want nobody to just give me something. Now, if you want to give, sure, because I've put the work in too, though. So now I'm worth coming to you and say, hey, give me $5 million.
Yep.
You see what I mean? Not give me and I have no proof of concept. I haven't done anything. Let's just give me money because here's the idea that I have. Well, what if it don't work?
Yeah.
So to answer your question, you start with $0 because you don't have an idea. Well, you don't have a product, right? You only have an idea. So if you don't have a product, how you gonna have money with no product?
Right.
So I was like, I'm gonna go and kill what I eat. So I went out and I recruited. I recruited kids to a school with $0.
Social media.
Social media.
Yeah.
If I don't have a big marketing budget, how do you market? Who's your market? What are you trying to compel? What are you trying to get out there? What do you want the people to know about your school? Like, I believe that, the ideas are always cool, but the execution matters.
Yeah.
And if I had 30 kids my first year, now we're sitting at like 75, 80 football, and we got a new sport now. So we got basketball. So now we got 2 sports. And then by every year, and by 2023, we'll have every collegiate sport. So you gotta know how to do that, Where we at, man?
Man. All right, quick, maybe side question to that. As far as like football equipment, was that raised, not to get too specific, but was that raised like from bootstrapped or was that, funded, granted,
I have 0 grants and 0 investors. 0 loans. So everything was earned when it got it, right? So you gotta think about how things work, right? Every day, every year, a program closes. They have equipment. Every day, a business folds. They may have filing cabinets, stuff like. So you just go and broker the deals the same way you do in real estate, where you go get a house for $0 because they're in foreclosure. You do the same thing in sports closing. Where you gonna put all this equipment at? You ain't gonna just keep it. So hey, I'll take this off your hands. Boom, I pay you this much for that. Same way you do in real estate.
Yeah. True innovation. Once again, if you guys do have any questions, feel free to ask those, drop those in the comments. So Man. All right, next you said is spring ball coming up soon. Well, basketball, I'm assuming they kind of just pushing that maybe to like, is that later spring, summer for them or?
Nah, they're gonna play the same. Like we had a the season started for basketball in like October,
Mm-hmm.
but we just pushed it to January. So we're gonna get a lot more games in January, which basketball plays in the spring anyway. So their season wasn't too affected. Just the football that's going to be different because football starts from like March, April, you know, ends in May. So that's going to be different. But as far as the basketball, their season is going to be the same. But they're just here now, training, working out, getting better, getting acclimated to Texas. We got like 6 kids here from either Las Vegas or Michigan.
Huh.
So, it's where the hoopers are at, right?
True.
You got to go where the hoopers are.
Yeah. Yeah, I might have a few for you, man. I definitely I know somebody at my local high school and in this region that can come on down. So I'm gonna definitely send them your way. I had to
You know,
send you a couple profiles, couple highlight tapes.
send them down, man. Send them down. They'll be in good hands, man. We got a good group of guys, and the coaching staff is pretty dope. So,
Cool, man. Cool. Last question that I have, if we don't have any others, would just be man, for you, what was, well, two actually. First one that I want to know, as I began talking to you throughout this conversation, what was the biggest challenge that you faced? Did you face a challenge even just maybe because of who you are, being a younger black man, and operating in not corporate America, but corporate America to an extent for sure. What was your biggest challenge that you faced?
man, I was 28. I was 28 years old, and the biggest challenge was when they asked me what I did at the school, and I say I'm actually the founder. And in their mind, they're like, "Oh, that's a joke, right?" So people don't take you serious, especially when you're operating in a space that's traditionally nobody first looks like us to create something like this. Two, nobody is of the age of 20, 28, right? So I was 28. I'm black, and I did what? So you talk about defying all all images, right? But one thing that I always do is any room I go into, you're gonna have to prove to me that you're better than me in that room,
Mm.
right? Same way in sports, right? If I'm on the field with you and they tell me that you're the number one receiver, you got to prove to me that you're number one receiver. I'm not gonna just say, well, they said he number one receiver, so whatever. So the toughest part was getting people to take you serious. But because I took myself so serious, no matter what, they had no choice but to take me serious. Because the the first time they try to ignore me or play me, I got louder, and not with my words, but with my actions.
Uh-huh.
So the hardest part first year was people just believing you, and being in Texas, starting off with football and doing something that's like non-traditional. You're completely going against the grain, completely. And I'm not from here. So not being from Texas, not being from Dallas, this is football Mecca, and I'm doing what? When? With no relationships. So I was just going against the grain. So if you look at my first couple years of operation, 90% of my team didn't come from Texas. And last year, almost 100%, it was about 92% of the team wasn't from Dallas.
Mm.
So I built this for the area, but the area didn't start coming around till now. We're in year 3. Now everybody's like, oh, okay, let me check them out. But at first, the hardest part was, people not taking you serious. But I didn't let them like deter me from, my mission. But if they don't take you serious, you got to make them take you serious. Because if not, they're gonna run you out the building.
Yeah, straight up. And then my last question was just wondering, like, how'd you begin to build the team? Was it just mainly you doing? Because I feel like a common theme now begin to see in entrepreneurs is that because you do wear so many hats, the time it takes to do whichever task. So
Right.
as you begin to build out a team, it's like, all right, I know if you shorten me or not, or if I know if this person is really good at it because of what you may have done with, more or less.
Right. So, I guess you're asking like the executive team, like the personnel team, not the actual physical sports team, right?
Right.
The
Yep.
personnel team. So things like when me and you talked, right? I saw what you did, Camp Central. That's what you do.
Uh-huh.
My guys need camp exposure. That's what you do. I don't do that. So I'm building my team by saying, hey, we get you guys camp information. We can do X, Y, Z. I'm not doing it. You're doing it. Because that's what you do well. And I'm never going to bring on anybody and ask them to do something that they don't do. Like, I want to know what you do. So now, if what you do fits what I'm trying to build, it just plugs in. It just fits in, and you didn't come in and do anything different. Like, you're running Camp Central within this monster of a brand, and I get the benefits of having the information. You get the benefits of growing. The kids get the benefit of exposure and information. Everybody wins, but nobody's doing anything that they don't normally do on anyway. So when I'm building my team, I'm always looking for people who are doing things that I need done, that I don't want to do. I can do it, but I don't want to. And if I find somebody who's doing it, you don't have to be like a big name. Like Camp Central is not a big name. But if I come to you and say, hey, this is what I got, I see what you're doing, let's do this together. I'm gonna show you how you're gonna benefit. I already know how I benefit. So I don't have to tell you what I'm getting out of it. I want you to know what you're getting out of it, because everybody in business want to know what's in it for me, right? So for me, I'm gonna come to you and tell you exactly what I'm gonna provide to you, because I already done my research on you. So in return, I already know what I'm getting.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm building my team, the team has to make sense. Like, you can't have 3 Thors on one Avenger squad, because that's like too many of the same person,
Yeah.
right? You can't have 5 Ironmans, because there's a weakness in an Iron Man somewhere. There's a weakness in Thor somewhere. So if you got 5 of them, they all got the same weakness. So you got 5 duplicates and no growth, right? That's why whenever I'm building my team, I'm looking at just like on a football team. You have linemen, but you got 5 different linemen though.
Mm-hmm.
You got a right guard, a left guard, a right tackle, a left tackle. Most left tackles don't want to be on the right side, right? Then you got a center. Then you have a running back. It's one football team trying to win, but a receiver ain't trying to pass the ball. He just want to catch it. And the QB don't want to catch the ball. He just want to throw it. So if I'm going to tell you what you're going to get out of it, I'm the coach. Hey, QB, we run a full spread, high octane, air raid offense. You can throw for 10,000 yards in your career. I already know what I'm getting out of it, because if I can get you 10,000 yards in your career, that means I've won some games and probably some championships. So I already know what I'm getting if I can get somebody who can achieve this. You want to know how much success am I going to have in your offense. So I'm going to tell you what you're getting first because I already know what I'm getting. So that's how I build my teams. Like I don't build my teams with just people because on paper they look dope. Oh, he went to Harvard. That's fine. Is he a hustler? No. Is he a marketer? No. But he knows numbers. That don't matter to me. It just doesn't. Like you being super smart, that doesn't matter to me because that doesn't make money. That tells me about money. It don't tell me how to make the money though. And I'm an action guy. I believe in performance. So yeah, man. So if you ask me how I build my team, everybody has to bring value. Everybody. And if you can't bring value, or if I can't give you value, I need to wait until I'm able to give you value. Because if it's strictly like a money exchange, in 90 days, that exchange is going to get tiring. And you're gonna say, man, look, this money ain't worth it. I'm out. But if you in this because you're already doing what you're doing anyway, and you was gonna do it with or without me, I think as an entrepreneur, we get so afraid that people are willing to do things without us. Well, with or without my staff or anybody else, I've already proven that I can run this thing myself. So anybody who comes in, they need to know that with or without them, this still runs. But they need to also tell me that with or without RPA, they can still run their business too, and their idea and their brand. Because that's when you eliminate the leeching of a relationship. So I don't bring people around who need me. You gotta want to do this with me, because whenever you want it. Now you may need some of the things that I have, but in totality, you shouldn't need me in totality at all. You shouldn't need me at 100% to function, because that means you don't have the confidence to do what you say you're doing, right? So I got on your podcast not because you got 1 million followers. I don't care about the followers. Me and you are building a relationship through this call right now, because we talk on the phone before, we talked through DM, but you still didn't even understand like the full grasp of what I did.
Facts.
Now you're like, oh, I see how Camp Central can fit in that thing now.
Facts.
Now it makes more sense. So this call for me wasn't about the podcast. This was a live meeting between me and you on how you could be a part of RPA. That's how I build my teams.
That's game, bro. That's game. Well, shoot, man. Hey, I'm excited. You know, really, I'm definitely excited. And to your point, you know, I want to make sure, of course, that Camp Central can be ready. You know, that I can be ready to for it to live under that space for sure too. I need it to be up and running to a certain confident level to where, you know, I can step to you and be like, yo, we ready. You know, so that time is coming though. That time is definitely coming soon, and you know, I'm excited for that to come to fruition. For real.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, man.
Shoot, man. Any last comments? You know, any plugs you want to drop? Websites man. To the course.
You can get my book, my merch, all at ReggieCalhounJr.com. So that's where all my merch is at. That's where you get my book at. So my book is about how sports and business correlates. I'm actually dropping a course next month, so that'll be on there. So anything you want to find about me, whether it's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, my website, it's all Reggie Calhoun Jr. So I ain't that hard to find. I'm very responsive in my DM. You hit me up, I'm always respond. I follow back. But to start a college, you gotta understand what a college is, and you have to understand what kind of college that you want to create. So, prime example, the College of Social Work. I know if I go to the College of Social Work, I'm only going to get information about social work. So what kind of college do you want, right? And if you want to start one, start it, create it, do it. It's, it's not as hard as you think, but it's not as easy as me just saying go start it. You know, you gotta have certain things about you. But my book gives you the foundation on how to start up. You know, anything. I just put it in the sense of a sports, but a sportspreneur is just a former athlete, current athlete, enthusiast, turned entrepreneur, and that's what I label myself, a sportspreneur. So that's all I got, man.
Hey, dope, man. Dope. Definitely appreciate having you, Reggie. You guys tune in to the website. Make sure if you're a future student, check out RPA. And we will see you guys next time. Thank you.